Jaana Rosendahl is a specialist in human-centric enterprise design. She is a partner and a board member of Boardman and has been holding many positions in the financial sector, for instance, helping start the Taalerin tehdas that we all know here in Finland, and also in all kinds of marketing companies. She has a very interesting hobby. You are doing doctoral thinking about starting doctoral studies and doing a dissertation. So do you already have a subject for that?
Not yet, but it has to do with this, what I'm presenting, that
Okay.
how to get there.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit why you are here in talking about in a CX and ROI webinar about customer-centric thinking. Please go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, hello all Zoom people. Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here. It was great hearing Diane speaking. I'm coming to this from another perspective, but I think they like collide in the middle. I'm trying to make the boards and top teams and owners understand what they need to do for the customers, for the people driving the customer experience in the companies, so that they can help this change happen. My job today is to talk about customers and top management. And by top management, I mean the whole decision-making chain, owners, boards, top management. And for me, leading strategic customer experience means designing customer-centric companies. Because of course the customer experience is a result of something that companies do, some activities, and every company has it. But the question is how we relate to it. Is it a priority? Is it a nice to have? Is it an afterthought? And for a company to have CX sustainably on the management agenda, it is very strategic and therefore a priority. And that requires the customer centricity in the whole company. In reality, we don't have very many customer-centric companies. We have a lot of companies at the moment that are doing it. They are projects, they are like striving for it, because there are CX leaders, there is marketing or somebody in the company doing this. But I think it is the time for the top management also to take a stand on it. And I think there is some, the world has changed so much that there is some room for it at the moment, because we are coming from the market that is very stable, predictable. It's complicated, but it's clear in a way. It has been very clear that where the industries are, where the competition is, you know that, and you can see from further away what is happening. But now we are shifting and have shifted into a VUCA market that's volatile, uncertain. It's very complex. It's very ambiguous also. There can be some competition coming somewhere, and you can be this and you can be a little bit that. Like US systems professor said, it is a dancing landscape. Everything is happening very fast. And that demands a pace shift for us in the companies. We need more speed. We need more agility. We need all the brains of the company aligned to the same direction. We need all boots on the ground to see what's happening. And then I think customer centricity is a perfect answer for this. Because customer centricity in core, it is just that customer moves from being an object to a linear process. it moves to being a starting point and then a continuous partner. And seemingly a small change, but it has huge impact on operations. You really have the customer in the middle, and then you have your customer journey that everybody in the company are serving. They have their own role in the customer journey. And then you acknowledge that you actually have customers as the only profit centers. The customer is the only one paying for your salaries. Customer is the only one paying their bills to the company. And that is a huge mindset change. But it also means that everybody that works for the company, we need to start taking the employees, the people, differently. They are adults in the company. They are experts. They want to learn. They want to take responsibility. They want to work together to solve customers' problems. They make decisions. They share info, and they want to be accountable. But these two product-centric and customer-centric worlds are very different. They are different mindsets. When we are going towards this customer-dominant logic, it is a systemic change because there is changing so much. It's not an add-on. It's not a new feature. It is something that we have to wonder, explore. What does it mean to us? It's outside in. It's very dynamic. Not going deeper into this, but this is the beginning to the journey to sustainable strategic CX. And I have put here 4 things you have to do on that journey for management. You have to understand the differences between the 2 different mindsets and think about what makes your business future-proof. Where are we at the moment? How much work is there to be customer-centric? Do we really want to do that? That's also a good question. But then you have to create core structures. You have to, I think the 4 hallmarks from seeing outside in, you see if the job descriptions are documented from the customer point of view. How do I help the customer? What do I do for the customer? Then, of course, the customer journey has to be the core process and it has to be documented. The customer and market insight has to be the very core of the function so that everybody can put data in, take data out, share insights, share analysis from their own perspective. And then, of course, the customer reporting that ensures the direction where we want to go. And these structures, they are big because they are the ones that enable and support the everyday work, that they change the way we work together. And of course, this means a whole lot more people-centric leadership also. And then third is you have to integrate your story. You have to go into sense making to people and then follow your success. That's much of the reporting. And what we usually have, this is very much for the leaders to think about. We have these building blocks in companies that are fragmented. They are shattered away in different places. We have the customers that are very often owned by the salespeople. We have brand that is owned by marketing or CX. We have vision that is very, very often from the strategy process. The strategist, very often economic background, they are talking about that. Then we have the culture that HR is talking about. Then we have leadership that nobody's really talking about, but every leader have their individual goals in that. And then we have the why, the purpose, the justification why we exist, and the values, the infinite story, as Sinek calls it. And now we have to combine them into a sense-making story to everybody, because we can't have these also in silos. We have to create from in a board and in the top management team that everybody is, that they are not in silos, they are going for common goals. So we start with the why and create the desired brand and vision. And what do we, it is like a book, the next chapter, what is going to happen next. Then is the vision that that is more often a little bit more numeric. But the brand is the impact on the market, on customers, stakeholders, society, environment. But how do we get the desired brand? We need a goal-oriented culture. The culture is the driver for the brand. Why? Because culture is behind all actions that we do. And the actions are the only ones that create brand. And they are like, there is the output part. Then there is the outcome, the changes in the behavior, the changes in motivations. And then there is the impact, how we get customers that are very loyal and advocates. And what needs the culture? The culture needs the requisite leadership, because the leadership is very much behind what we now experience as culture. And that then leads the brand and gives the impact to us. Because today's brand is the footprint of yesterday's actions. Today's actions are the footprint of yesterday's culture. And today's culture is the footprint of yesterday's leadership. They are all linked together. You can't have them with different people driving you to different places. You have to link them together, bring that story to your people and do it with them, of course. And this is the same metrics, same idea with metrics. When we do the strategy process, we think about the vision. What's the vision? And what's the impact on the market from the vision? What are the goals? We should be talking, what are the midterm results that we want? And then we are putting them to projects and all kinds of inputs that campaigns, projects, whatever, that cause activities. And the activities are the only ones giving us the output that is very transactional. But then it is like dropping a stone in the water. It has these ripple effects. First output, the transactional one, then the outcome, then the impact. And we have to make sure these all are like connected. They are, because no activity brings you the outcome as transactionally. It comes through the through various encounters like in a campaign, you have to have the piece where every activity includes something to get the transactional output, like the revenue, but then the outcome. After this campaign, these people are more ready to stay with us, buy more often. And then the impact that they really change their motivations and start advocating us. And we have the tendency in companies to talk very much internally about goals and visions and brands and objectives. And then we start talking about the short-term activities. And we then measure very much the short-term activities. This was the output. We got this revenue from this campaign, and this much it cost. And we skip the outcomes and the impacts. And they are the ones that give us more value in the long run. Of course, we have to understand that there are both external and internal outcomes and impact. And there are also partners and other stakeholders. And then there are these intended and unintended consequences. And we have to all the time have our eye on those so that we can make corrections in the activities that we go to the right direction. So this could be called a balanced scorecard for customer-centric company. You put all these output, outcome, impact, and then you see them from customer perspective, from stakeholder perspective, and then from internally, from employee culture perspective, and leadership structure process perspective. And then you have the finances, because the short goals give you the quick value. Then comes the midterm value, and then you have the impact. There is the customer lifetime value, company value in the long run. And I don't know how much time I have.
I think you're a little bit past already your time, so I'm going to have to
ask
you to wrap up really quickly.
I just go for this. The basic reporting is the basic principles are the segmentation. You have to have the customer segmentation, strategic one. Averages don't tell you anything. Customer always have to be present in decision making. How does this decision benefit or impact your customers? And then you have to have the customer journey, the shared customer market insight there. And financial reporting, always income statements by the customer segments, sales reports, every KPI. And then the customer lifetime value. From like board view, there is so much metrics that is we could take from customers, but this one integrates the future CLV, integrates the cash flow, retention, loyalty, and advocacy, and it leads to right discussions in the company. So you have to follow what you want to achieve and the mechanism that produces the impact.